Okay, everybody, the car is all packed up. We got all the kids in the back. We got one kid, got another kid, got the wifey, and we're ready to go camping. Is everyone looking forward to going camping?
Yeah!
So we're in Abbotsford right now. We've gone about 40 minutes into our drive to our campsite, and the traffic's going pretty slow. It's pretty relaxed driving. So I put the Hellcat in eco mode. And that's the first time I've tried that. And as you can see, I'm now averaging 13 miles per gallon. That's the highest I've seen since I bought the Hellcat. So actually, eco mode really does work. And I'm gonna see if I can get it even higher.
Mom, I'm bored. I'm bored.
Highway back at Chilliwack. But instead, there you go. Film it. Film it. Oh, shh. Okay, everybody, we've reached the Hope Slide area. This is about 1/4 of the way to where our camping site is. And if you look behind me, you can see this large area where there's no trees. And it looks like the whole side of the mountain has come down. Well, that's exactly what happened. You see, what happened is that in 1964, when I was 3 years old, the whole side of this mountain came down suddenly in a gigantic landslide. A gigantic landslide came down here, and unfortunately, the old highway went on that side of the valley. See, now we're on this side of the valley. The old highway went down on that side of the valley. And right in that pile of rock that you can just see over there, there's 4 cars buried underneath there. 4 people were traveling the highway that day when the whole mountain came down on top of them. They are still underneath that pile of rock. It was too difficult back in those days to recover their bodies, and so they are still buried underneath this gigantic pile of rock. It's very sad. So when we're heading off into the mountains, we often stop here for a break and just to think about what happened to those people, and you just never know.
Now it's going the other way. It's going back now. That's odd. You didn't go over.
So yeah, we'll just take a break here for now. So far, the Hellcat's done wonderful. It's effortlessly driving on the highway, passing cars. I'm going at a steady, roughly around 130 an hour, which is a little fast. Around here, the speed limit is about 120, so 130 is just about what you can get away with. And the car is effortless. Air conditioning on the whole way. No effort at all to go up these hills in this mountain. Okay, so while we're standing here, or waiting here, so you can see there's a lot of room in the front. We got a fair amount of room in the back for one kid, and then for the other kid. And in the trunk. Okay, so the trunk is pretty packed, but there's actually still room on the sides and around. So we have enough stuff here for camping for 2 days. It's got our tent, it's got a screen cover for a picnic table, it's got our sleeping bags, it's got a camp stove, it's got a camp lantern, it's got some inflatables, it's got mattresses, everything. It's got fuel for the camp stove. So everything we need for at least 2 to 3 days of camping can fit just in the trunk of this car. So in the future, I think we're going to get a roof rack and get a box up here and maybe paint it to match the Hellcat. That would be pretty cool. Plum crazy purple roof box. What do you think? Anyway, so for now, for our simple trip, this car is doing fantastic. Really happy with it so far. Okay, we're in Manning Park Resort. We've got the Hellcat all parked up there. Manning Park is a beautiful place for skiing in the winter and a wonderful place to go hiking in the mountains all around here in the summer. I've been here before and I've never stayed at the resort because it's pretty expensive. But I went in there and found out what kind of price range, for what I'm willing to spend, what do they have for me today if I wanted to stay at the resort today. And they told me that there was a place outside for me, and here it is. Okay, so this is our chalet for the night. It's a little small. They told me number 11 outside. This is it. Yeah, this is number 11. So, yeah, this is. Once I told them my budget, this is where they pointed me out to. So, I think they're making fun of me. Anyway, okay, so I'm not gonna stay here. I can't afford the Manning Park Resort, but look at this view. And look at that Hellcat. Okay, it's getting a little dusty, but it still looks great. A lot of people are taking pictures of this car. I think the purple's a big hit. We're about halfway to Princeton, which is close to our camping site, and the car's been great. We're gonna keep going. I just love the way the Hellcat handles these curves. It just flows around them, and the grip is amazing for a car with this kind of, well, girth, if you will. I'm loving it. I mean, it's not quite as good as the FRS, I will admit that, but it's just so smooth around these sweeping curves that, yeah, the Hellcat goes around curves. Yeah. Hard into the curve. Hard into the curve. She's gripping good. Oh. Whoa. Smooth, but you can tell the forces.
Oh, Daddy. Good day, you okay?
This car really does handle. It's fantastic.
No.
You know the best thing about Canada? By the way, please come to Canada and visit us here. The best thing about Canada is the scenery. You have beautiful scenery everywhere you look, especially in British Columbia where I live. Best part of this scenery is the Hellcat. Okay guys, we're just cruising along on the highway, not really pushing it, and right now I'm getting 16 miles per gallon. That's pretty good in a Hellcat. Good little town, right?
Should have cars on the side.
Okay everybody, we're parked up at Princeton. We're gonna get some food for our camping trip, and this is a beautiful little town. Let's have a look around. All right, look what I found in the parking lot, the Save On parking lot. This is a Park Lane, a Ford Park Lane station wagon, two-door, A little bit like a Chevy Nomad, if you know what that is. A station wagon with just 2 doors. I don't know what year this is. That's a nice Ford. Nice thing about Princeton, it's a small town, it's very dry, and it preserves old cars. Now we found like an old style looking gas station with some very interesting vintage looking iron out here. We got a Mercury truck, and I don't know what's on the back of this flat deck here. Correct me if I'm wrong, I bet this is a Dodge. I bet this is a Dodge. There's just a feeling. There's just a feeling this is a Dodge. Let's see if I'm right. I am right, sort of. It's a Plymouth. It's a Plymouth, so I'm doing pretty good. Oh, look at this, another Dodge. This one is in rough shape, wow. Don't think I'm gonna be restoring this one anytime soon. This is in bad shape. Look at this thing. Now, as far as I know, these things are for sale. So if you're into old cars, Princeton has a few for sale. And right behind this Dodge, we have a 1962 GMC stepside, 4x4. Yeah, 4x4. Looking pretty aggressive. This could make a nice project to make into a mud drag car, something like that. We got a 1965 Valiant Cuda. Has a slant 6. I had one of these. This was my first car. It was a 1966 Valiant Cuda. This is a 1965. The front end's a little different. This has got really bad rust. Really bad rust. But the slant 6 motor is indestructible. Probably still runs on this car. And look at this giant rear window. And we have a nice Ford Falcon drag race car. Let's see, this is an 01. What does that say? All right, that's pretty funny. Oh, no fear. Yeah, this looks like it might have gone fast in the day. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere today, that's for sure. But it's for sale. Best offer takes it. We have an old New Yorker here. It's a 4-door New Yorker, a 1964. It's seen better days. Chrome is pitted, paint is all marked up, there's rust everywhere. But this was a high dollar car in the day. This would be someone with a bit of money would be able to get this car, maybe a banker, maybe a professional, maybe your doctor would have a car like this in the day. Holds a lot of stuff, it got a huge trunk. Very nice. Oh, that was good. All right, everybody, so we made it to our campsite. This is Stemwinder Provincial Park. It's a very small little park by the Similkameen River, and we didn't even reserve a site. And we just came here hoping to get a site, and we did. Now, it's not the best site. So as you can see, it's kind of open and it's right beside the highway, but at least we got a site. So we're gonna camp here tonight, and we're gonna check out the river, which is just down there, the Similkameen River, and just relax, basically. And wow, what can I say about the Hellcat? I fully appreciate the experience now that I've driven the car now for a little over 2 weeks. You know, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on the Hellcat and everybody raved about it. This car is so powerful, so capable, but I wasn't really sure that I would like it. You know, it's such a big car, I'm not used to that, big 4-door car, but you know what? They were right. It's a great car. So let's get the car unpacked and set up the tent. Okay, these are the primitive conditions that we're living in. Man, that was hard work. Don't have to go to the gym anymore, just have to go camping from now on.
The next day.
Morning, everybody. That exhaust is waking up the entire campsite. Okay, it's the next day, and as you can see, our camp has all been put away. We're just about ready to go. We got our car all packed up. everything's back in Barney, the Hellcat, and we're ready to go. So for any of you guys out there who think that you can't take a Hellcat camping, yes you can, especially if you got a Charger. You can do it for sure. One of the ways I convinced my wife to let me buy my Hellcat Charger was by saying that this is a very practical car. It has an eco mode, which I demonstrated earlier, and she bought that. So you guys can use the same argument yourself. You can take this car camping, you can take it anywhere you want, long road trips, put it in eco mode, and life is good. That's the way to start the day, yes. All right, we're on the highway, we're heading to Caramias now for our next part of our adventure. These horses appear to be very attracted to my Hellcat here. They've come right over. They look so friendly. Yeah, we're going right into that. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see, but it looks like we're into a big cloud of forest fire smoke. As you may know, there's lots of forest fires in BC, and we're just gone into a new valley here and it's full of fire smoke. And this is what it looks like in a lot of parts of BC right now. Just smoky, and it's hard to breathe, and this is where we're heading. Okay, yeah, you can definitely smell the smoke from all the forest fires in BC. This whole area is really hard to see. The visibility is way down. Let's take a look. You can barely see the hills and the mountains that are just right next to us. Yeah, I kind of stopped here because it's interesting how there's so many places where there's old cars just sitting, and in this dry climate around here, there's not really much deterioration. This is something you never see in a big city, but you just see old cars and they just sit here for years. And so sometimes it's nice just to get out of the car and just have a look. Now most of these cars are pretty boring. Not something you'd ever want to take home. But occasionally, you got something, I still don't want to take it home, but at least it's interesting, right? You got a couple of Fords right here. Let's have a look here. Yeah, you got a couple of nice Fords here, and they're for sale. And they got a nice body shape. These would make a nice project, although I'm sure there's a ton of work to be done on these guys. Okay, we've arrived in Caramias. It's pretty smoky, but the good news is that we have achieved a 17.6 miles per gallon average. Been on eco mode all the way. It's going up and up and up. I'm hoping before the end of the trip that we'll be able to do a 20 mile per gallon average. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so the one thing great about Caramias is that there is fruit stands everywhere. So this is all the fruit. It's all ripe this time of year. From the Okanagan, we got cherries, we got peaches, we got apples, we got tomatoes, we got everything here. Take a look. Boy, they got everything. Look at all this nice fruit. We got pears, we got plums, canned fruits. Oh, these look fantastic. Blackberries. Wow. Another reason why I like to stop at this fruit stand is because they got some really interesting cars just sitting out here in the orchard. Now this looks like a, well, this is a Nash. Look at that. Yeah, I wonder if these cars are actually for sale. This is the Nash. This is Not sure what run this is. Let's take a closer look. Let's have a look inside here. Wow. It's gonna need some work, I can tell you that much. So old vehicles as far as you can see in the orchard.
1 second.
Let's go. Right, so we had something to eat at Billy's, and now we're on our way home. As you can see, the sun is starting to set, so we're gonna get home after dark. But it's been a fun 2 days of camping. We got Barney all parked up here, looking good. So it's the next day. Barney the Hellcat did great. We had a great time camping, as you saw. And I gotta say that a Hellcat is fine for taking camping. There's lots of room in the trunk. It's great for the kids, lots of room for everybody. And the highway, it's a highway monster. Absolutely a highway monster. So I highly recommend the Hellcat Charger, especially for camping. So please hit that like button and please subscribe for more if you like this video. So thanks for watching Photomikes Garage. Me and Barney will see you next time. Okay, and also, by the way, my fuel economy average was 19.8 miles per gallon overall. Of course, I did a little bit of city driving today, so that lowered my average a little bit. The highest I achieved was a 20.8 miles per gallon average, which I think is pretty good for a 707 horsepower, 4,500 pound vehicle. Not too bad.